Good morning, everyone. Greetings from Montreal. Welcome to our live trading workshop. It is 9:30 a.m. A beautiful morning here in Montreal. I have my Tim Hortons coffee in my hand. It's delicious as ever. And yeah, the sun is shining. It's a crisp morning. I think 17 degrees, going up to 23 degrees today. So it's going to be one of the nicer days here in September in Montreal. And it's going to be super exciting. We are post PPI data. The producer price index report came out today lower than expected. The indices jumped up initially. What this means to the markets and how this can be traded, we're going to discover it together today in this workshop. But before we get in, let me ask you guys, where are you calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Who do we have? Let me see. Steffen aus Hamburg, from Hamburg. Hey, Steffen, wie geht's? Steven from Singapore. Hey, Steven. Nice to have you on board. Daryl from San Francisco. Oh, it must be early morning there, 6:30. Wow, congratulations for getting up so early. Andreas from Salzburg, Austria. Hey, Andreas, wie geht's? Cliff from Michigan. Hey, Cliff. Peter from Ontario. Oh, not too far away from Montreal. Awesome. And I assume it's the Ontario in Canada. Or some other, is it the Ontario in California? Who else do we have? Please put your location into the Q&A box. I can see we do have a full room, which is awesome. I think the live trading sessions are one of our more popular webinars that we have. George in Australia. Oh boy, George, what time is it over there? That must be, I would imagine, evening-ish, maybe 9 p.m. or something. Michael from Austin, Texas. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Ryan from Rotterdam, Holland. This is not too far away from Hamburg. And actually, I was raised in Rostock, which is not far away from Hamburg. So Rostock, Hamburg, Rotterdam. 10:30 p.m., George says, in Australia. Wow, that's late. Well, thanks for staying up so late. And we have somebody from Virginia. Hey there. We have Earl from Pennsylvania. Perfect. Well, thanks, guys, for sharing your location. Once again, a truly international crowd with viewers from all over the world. Awesome. All right. So I also need to remind you real quick that trading, of course, does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor, especially when it comes to day trading. When you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose when it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance or really anything based on historical price data. Keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies and setups discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, so real quick, for those of you who don't know us yet, and if you don't know us, maybe put a 1 into the chat box so we can give you a personal welcome. We are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side, and we have been in business for almost 10 years now, specializing on the development, as our name suggests, on the development of what? Trading indicators. We've built thousands of those for all major platforms for clients all over the world. And our flagship indicators we're going to showcase today. And real quick, part of our team is also Homer here in the middle, and Niklas. Niklas will be in the chat today as well. He's going to help me with the charting throughout this live trading workshop. What we're going to be doing today is mainly based on technical analysis. We believe that fundamentals are almost immediately priced in, and by analyzing your price chart from a technical point of view, you indirectly somehow take also into account your fundamental information. What we're going to be also doing today is to keep it simple. So we believe that trading should be simple, and in fact, it can be simple, but you need to use the right tools. So which tools we are using, which indicators we are using, and what they do for us to understand better what might be going on next in the markets, we're going to see together today. And of course, if you have any questions or suggestions or symbol requests, don't be shy. Put these into the Q&A box. And now we're going to get to those over this presentation, which is expected to last between 1.5 hours and 2 hours today. All right, a couple of ground rules before we get into the markets. First off, the focus today will be on day trading. Why? Well, because we only have 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours time. We will aim to open and close trades within this session. So this only is possible with day trading. However, the techniques and setups shown in this session equally apply to longer time frames as well. So if you're more of a swing trader or perhaps a longer term investor, you can use the same indicators just on bigger time frames. Today, we will be using TradingView. as our trading platform. Why? Well, simply because it's the greatest common denominator. Everybody has heard of TradingView. I'm certain of this. So even if you mainly trade with NinjaTrader or perhaps Modifwave or some other platform, chances are you've heard of TradingView and you can relate to TradingView the best. This is why we're going to be using TradingView today. We will aim to take trades today. So as time progresses, and if we haven't taken any trades, we may need to force some trades for the sake of illustrative purposes. And we may also be forced to close trades prematurely just to show you how we manage trades throughout. Just keep this in mind. Now, will every trade going to be a win? Well, maybe, hopefully. I'm going to use our real money, our live money account today. But of course, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee in the world which will guarantee this, which can assure this. But of course, what we'll do today is we'll do everything in our power to increase our odds of having winning trades. So this includes a multi-time frame analysis. We're going to be looking at support and resistance levels. We're going to look at volume, trend, and momentum. And we're going to look at correlations as well, to make sure that we stack everything in our favor to increase the chances of having winners. We're going to trade our real money. We hate losing just as much as everybody else, but we also understand it's part of the trading game. And the trading game is very much a numbers game. So over time, you want to be profitable, but there's no guarantee that you will be profitable every single trade. All right. Now, what's going to be our process today is quite systematic, even though there might be some derivations from it. But we're going to use a 3-step process. And most of the time spent today will be on step number 1 and step number 2. Step number 1 is to understand what is going on right now. How did price end up where it is right now? Which path did it take? Why is this important? Well, this will help us to predict what the next chapter will be all about. Let's face it, trading is very much about forecasting what may happen next. And this is only possible if we know how did we get here? What path did price take to get to where it is right now? So once we have a prediction of what the next chapter will be or maybe all about, we can look for some signs of confirmation, maybe some entry signals using some of our entry signal indicators. So these are our 3 steps. Real quick, how do we understand the market story? And once again, here we're going to keep it simple. And in fact, we let indicators do all the heavy lifting. So how could this look like? And don't worry, we're going to get to the markets in just a second. So first off, we're going to look at trend. So how did we get up here? Did we proceed through an uptrend perhaps, or perhaps through a downtrend? We'll be more ranging. What is the current trend? And for this, we are going to be using our MA Rush indicator, which prints these nice bearish or bullish labels onto your chart. And oftentimes, we try to trade with the overarching trend and not against it, because once again, this will increase our chances. So that's one thing we're going to look at. Step number 2, to understand better the market stories, where are the key levels? Where is support, these orange lines here, or where is resistance? And oftentimes price will react to these levels in a very specific way. And many times we may see a bounce of these levels. You can see it here. Price went up to this key resistance level and bounced off to it. And then it came up again, bounced off on it again, then down to support here. We bounced off support a little bit, and finally, we broke support. Now, this will happen eventually. These levels will be broken, but if they are broken, we can then trade what we call a breakout trade. In this case, you can see here, once broken, we had a nice follow-through after this break happened. So awareness of these levels is so crucial to understand and to predict what may happen next. So that's going to be very important. We're going to use our liquidity IQ indicator for this. And finally, we are going to also be looking at our volume IQ indicator, which basically shows us where is the action, which price levels are the most contested ones, and which price levels perhaps are less contested. And oftentimes what you can observe that in a very contested region like this one here, this big high volume node, you can see price actually slows down in there. You can see it's ranging out of the sudden and has a hard time passing through this node. Whereas in areas of low volume, like this area here, look at this little carved out area of little bars in here, price really accelerates through it. And having an awareness of where these action zones are, where the most volume is being traded, where there's little volume being traded, will help us once again to predict a bit better what may happen next in terms of price action. And finally, should we have multiple trades open, we will be also looking at correlations, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to double down. We don't want to take the same trade basically twice on two different symbols, which are heavily correlated. So for this, we're going to do a correlation analysis. Should we have multiple trades open to make sure we don't double dip, we don't double down, and therefore increase our risk unnecessarily. All right. So I hope this sounds good. Yeah, then let's get into it. Just two quick things. This is how it all comes together. Of course, we're going to piece all this information together from our market story to predict where we may go next. So this is going to be a manual prediction. And of course, this is going to be our trade idea. And then once done, we will be looking at some confirmation indicators, for example, our 1, 2, 3 strike indicator to give us an entry signal, if possible, with good win rates to confirm, hey, this prediction is actually going to happen. All right. So this is going to be our idea today. Let's get into the markets. All right. So, all right, I'm going to switch over to my charting. There we go. And I'm going to see if Niklas is in the room. He said he had some technical issues. Oh, there we go. Oh, perfect. Okay. Hey, Niklas, how are you? All right. So this is going to be our layout for today. And in fact, I'm going to start with this one here. And don't worry, this may look a bit confusing, but it's going to show you how we scan through the different markets for the purpose of just sharing with you how we look at the markets. Okay, so what we see here, I'm not sure why this doesn't go all the way down, it doesn't matter. What we see here is a 4-chart layout on TradingView. All right.
Can you hear me okay, Daniel?
Hey, Niklas. Morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Good morning, everyone.
Perfect. Yeah, we can hear you well. Perfect. Okay, so I like to first get a feel about what's going on in the markets. I mentioned this morning we had PPI. They came in lower than expected, meaning inflation was a little less than expected, and markets initially reacted positively to it. But oftentimes this can be also some kind of fake out. We can see it here. We went up, we broke above this resistance level here in the Nasdaq futures, and then we are dropping off this level. So it's going to be interesting to see what's happening there. And the way we set up our charts, first off, is we are mainly going to be trading off the 15-minute time frame today. We may switch to the 5-minute occasionally, but our base is going to be the 15-minute time frame with 3 indicators applied to it. We have our MA Rush indicator. You can see it here. Let me just scroll back a little bit on this top chart. This top chart is our Nasdaq futures chart. You can see MA Rush being displayed on it. Let me just quickly hide the other one so you can quickly see what this indicator is. It's this indicator here, which shows you the trend indication. Now we can see it here in Nasdaq. After this downwards move, we recovered and we've been bullish since September 3rd, about a week ago, and this bullish trend hasn't changed direction since. So definitely momentum is to the upside in Nasdaq. Okay, the second indicator we have on the chart is our liquidity IQ indicator, which draws these key levels on the chart. And you can already see how important these levels are. Look at this level here. Price came down to this former resistance level, which is now acting as support, and we basically bounced off at the exact level to the upside. Then up to this key resistance level here, prices bounced off this level also nicely. Once again, here we bounced off, and finally we broke it. After this break, we had what we call a zone break retrace. You can see it here. Zone break retrace went up again, and today and right now, after PPI, we are coming a bit further down. It'll be very interesting to see how price will react if we actually get into this former resistance level here, which could now act as support. So we're going to keep an eye on this as well. So this is our second indicator. And the third indicator is our volume IQ indicator, showing us where are key volume levels of price. I can see it, for example, here, this big node here is standing out like a mountaintop, is what we call a tier 2 zone, the zone of control as per our volume IQ indicator. And oftentimes, this level will act as support if price approaches it from the upside. You can see here, we are coming down a little bit towards this level. This, to some degree, coincides. You can see it here with this former resistance levels. And right now we have two factors where price may bounce off from. We have former resistance now acting as support and a high volume node right below this. And our trend is to the upside. So what do you think our prediction might be for this symbol here? Well, I think the prediction would be it's going to be a long trade potentially. We might be bouncing off this level to the long side. We're not going to jump the gun yet. We're going to, wait to see how price reacts to this level when it gets to it. But at first glance, my feel would be, okay, this could be an interesting long trade opportunity. Entering when price comes back to this former resistance level, now acting as support. And we are at this very contested level as per our volume IQ indicator. All right, so now you have a feel of what these indicators do. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you another interesting thing, which I find super fascinating. In fact, I have set my alerts based on this concept. And this concept is the concept of what's called a liquidity capture. Let me find you an example. Let's look at this one here, E-mini DAO. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And where are we? Where can I make this bigger? There we go. Okay, so this is E-mini DAO. And what you see here, sometimes along the way are these shaded areas. You see this one here? And they're highlighted as liquidity captures. These happen in the proximity of either support levels, like here, or resistance levels, like here, and here. And these are events where price approaches a key level, either support or resistance, cannot completely penetrate it, and has abnormally high volume. And even though the interpretation of this signal is a bit agnostic, my view is that oftentimes, and this is in our experience, oftentimes it will increase the chance of having a bounce from this level rather than a break of this level. And you can see it here. It happens quite often, not all the time. Here we had a break, but oftentimes, we see a bounce of this level. And this is kind of one of my favorite trades to trade, because I like to, have this contrarian trade where we're bouncing off the level. We can have oftentimes very low risk on this trade because our stop loss would just be above this level, and our profit target oftentimes is a bit further away. So a nice reward to risk ratio. And what I've done is you can see it here. I have set up alerts for these events in TradingView. This is really cool. Actually, what I've done is, this is possible now with the newer versions of TradingView, which of course everybody has access to now, is the following. I went to alerts here, you can see it. I selected our liquidity IQ indicator, which generates these events. I selected, let's say, support liquidity capture. Okay. And then what I've done is I told the alert, hey, alert, not only alert me when this event happens on this particular symbol, but alert me when it happens for any of the signals in my watch list. And let's say in this watch list here. This is so awesome, because once done, I will get alerts for all these symbols in that watch list at once. I don't have to do this manually, which makes it really, really convenient. And now what happens, you can see it here in my alert box. All these alerts are coming in. And most recently, let's just check it out. We had a resistance liquidity capture event on Ethereum. Let's have a quick look. All right, we're going to go back to the overview in a second. So I'm going to go here to Ethereum. That's the same chart, but just on a full screen. We're going to be opening up Ethereum down here, and we can see, all right, once this all loads, that we will have a liquidity capture at a key resistance level. It's a little slow. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So we had this event here, of course, in this case, we broke through, but nonetheless, having knowledge of these events will help us to focus on certain symbols where something of interest is happening. Okay, so not oftentimes it works. In this case, we broke through it, but you can see it here in the past. This would have been a really nice trade signal.
It would be a nice trade signal for us to add eventually, Daniel, is I'm not sure if we already have it. I don't think so. A tier 2 cross on volume IQ.
Yeah.
Which is happening right now on gold a little bit.
Oh, okay. Let's check it out. So, yeah, let's check out gold. So for gold, I'm going to be, in fact, opening gold here, the MGC time frame. And yes, we just actually discussed this before this session, Nicholas and I, that gold is at a crucial level. It's right at this tier 2 zone of control as per our volume IQ indicator. And as expected, price is going to be slowing down in this level. It's a highly contested level. Oftentimes price slows down there. It spends some time in there because these high volume nodes, you can see here this node really stands out like a mountaintop. Oftentimes slows down price, and price acts like it's being in molasses there, really sticky and can't really move out of it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to be happening. Of course, gold is it's bullish. Of course, it's been so bullish. We had a bit of a retracement yesterday, but nonetheless, super bullish signal. If you just look at our MA rush indicator, I don't even know where it started to be bullish. Let me just quickly see. There, down here, we had this bull flag, this bull label down here on August 22nd on this 15-minute time frame, and since then gold
hasn't stopped.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped. So I know Niklas, you're a bit of a contrarian trader in this sense, but I would be very careful to go short here. It's just such a strong uptrend. But of course, at some point, every trend will come to an end, especially after a strong move. Oftentimes, we also see a stronger reversion to the mean afterwards. But for now, I'd be curious to see how this area will resolve. We're still really stuck in this zone of control. I would like the market to decide where it wants to go. So we're going to keep an eye on this to see whether price potentially will break out of this level to the upside, or perhaps will break below this level to the downside. And both events might be tradable. We're going to let the market decide what it wants to do. But yeah, great example. All right, so let me go back to the overview chart to see which symbols, and I like to do it like this. I like to scan through things just to see which ones are of interest, and definitely the NASDAQ futures here are of interest. Niklas, what do you think? This looks like a nice zone break retrace setup. Let's analyze this a little bit more in detail.
With the tier 2 right there?
Yeah.
That's definitely high reward to risk.
Let's have a look here. Let's zoom in a little bit to see what this setup is all about. And if you like it, you may take it as an initial trade today. And in fact, I'm going to take these. It's a bit slow today. It takes a little while. Sometimes if TradingView is really overloaded, it takes a bit longer to load. But yeah, I do like it. You can see we had this zone break here. Zone break retrace to this level. Now acting as support. We bounced off this level, went up again after PPI, now coming back down to this level again. So what we could do here, in fact, let's not overthink it too much. I think we're very bullish in NASDAQ. This could be a nice entry point. So let me quickly see if we are connected. Yes, we are connected. I'm going to open up my trade panel here. And the way I like to enter and then do all these trades is per limit order. I don't chase anything. I want price to come to me. So I'm going to potentially have an initial position just at this level if price comes down here with my stop loss. That's actually a good question. Where should I put my stop loss if we get filled? Well, definitely below this former resistance level, not acting as support. But in this case, below this big zone of control, because this will be our second line of defense. If this support level here, which used to be resistance, now support, breaks, then price could stop at this high volume node. So I'm going to put my stop loss below this level.
I'm going to actually put the stop down just to be...
Yeah.
That's kind of maybe I was going to put it a little higher, but that's sure, because I'm looking at the levels there, and we can see there's buyers at the tier 2. Then it becomes contested. And if we start to get halfway into where it's contested, I think it's starting to lose its bullish nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be like.
And we can always adjust it, but the way I like to initially position size it is to see, hey, what if we had the level here? How much would I lose? Because as traders, we always compelled to think, hey, how much can I win on this trade? How much can I make? But what the real thing should be is how much can I lose if I get stopped out? So for this, I'd rather put my stop a little bit further to drive this number a bit higher, how much I can lose, just to give me some awareness of what is at stake in this trade. And put this here, rather than putting it very tight. And my profit target here would be probably at the all-time highs here in the NQ, maybe a little bit better than 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio. So this, I think, is to me a position size, because to me it's going to be a feel buy today to see how the market will react to this level. Let's keep it like this. I'm not going to increase my position size. We're risking 285 Canadian dollars. Why Canadian? Well, because we're based out of Montreal. So account is denominated in Canadian dollars. Entry by limit order if we get buy down here. And let's see what happens. We may add on to it slightly if price comes down to here, but let's see what happens. Okay. Niklas, what do you think? Is that a good approach?
I like it. Yeah, I do. I think it's probably a pretty good trade.
Yeah, let's hope so. Okay, cool. So we have our first order in. Let's see what happens if we get our fill here. And as I mentioned before, always by limit order. I will not chase anything. I'd rather lose out on a trade, but that's my nature, than getting a bad fill. Okay, so this is going to be happening here. We'll see if we get the fill. Let's see what else is going on. So one important thing to note, we now are likely to get filled on this NASDAQ trade. This is important because now this kind of limits the number of trades I can take on related indices. Because once again, as I mentioned before, I don't want to double dip. And of course, one very obvious correlation to NASDAQ, if you get the fill here, is the S&P 500 futures. If you look at our correlation matrix, what can we see here? We have these two symbols here, MNQ and MES. And we have correlation scores on the chart time frame and on a higher time frame of 93 and 91. This is highly, highly correlated. So what I don't want to do right now is to, if I see a similar setup in MES, to double dip to take the same long trade. Because if I get stopped out on one, chances are I will get stopped out on the other one as well. All right. Oh, what happened here? Did I just get one sec? Oh, okay. I see what this is not my trading. My trading panel. Just a second. And we get our fill. Oh, jumped up already a little bit. All right. We'll see what's going to happen. We have got our fill here. So what I said, I don't want to double dip on MES. It has somewhat of a similar setup. We came down a little bit here. But I don't want to go long the MES right now. This basically would be the same kind of trade, just on a different symbol.
What's happening on Palladium, Daniel?
Platinum
Sorry,
or Palladium?
Platinum.
All right. Yeah, let's check it out. Thanks for keeping an eye on those markets. So, what the cool thing about trading futures is that they react so nicely to technicals. So we don't discriminate at all. We don't really even have a favorite symbol to trade. As long as the setup is right, as long as the technicals are lining up, we are considering the symbol to trade, even on symbols like platinum or palladium or whatever it might be. Okay, so that's this symbol here. We came up to this resistance level. We bounced off this level to the downside, and now we're coming down to this tier 2 zone. So let's zoom in on this a little bit further.
Copper too have to start to interrupt, but yeah, there's a zone break this morning. Maybe later there'll be a retrace.
Perfect. Yeah, let's check it out. So let me go to, okay, platinum. I don't even have it on this list here. Let me quickly go to my other list.
You have another tab for it open. It's your second tab. Oh, but you want to trade it. Okay.
I want to analyze it a little bit at first. So let me just quickly go here. And the only one thing is, this is MES. That's what it is. I just want to quickly see where is my target here. My target is all the way up there. Okay. We'll keep an eye on this. How is going to react? Okay. So platinum. Alrighty. How do you know what to choose if you can't scan? And is the session being recorded? Okay. Yes, the session is being recorded. It will be hosted on our YouTube page. If you go to tradingindicators.com, like this one, real quick, tradingindicators.com. I can type it. .com/YouTube. It will bring you to our YouTube page. You can see it here. And it will be posted on the session here under live trading. Okay. And the question is how to find symbols to trade if you can't scan. Well, I have alerts. I have these alerts on my entire watch list. It will alert me when something of interest comes in. So these are alerts for resistance and support liquidity captures, but you can define alerts for anything. So I get push notifications on my cell phone all the time if something of interest happens. So that's how I do it. And on other platforms like Wave or NinjaTrader, you can definitely scan for these setups. All right. Okay. So, but I don't want to, get distracted. Yeah, interesting one here, Nicholas. What do you see? I see a rejection here of this resistance level. We are in an uptrend. We went bullish here. Now coming down to this tier 2 zone of volume IQ.
Maybe a small long here.
Yeah,
and, stop
definitely. Yeah, definitely a long trade. Absolutely.
It's definitely a ranging one though, so I'd maybe not keep the stop too
Yeah.
loose because it does look like it's in a range. And I think overall, if you zoom out a bit, isn't it going down over the past couple
Yeah.
weeks? Oh no,
It's
not really.
somewhat
Okay.
going up. It's a bit erratic on the long term, so to say, but yeah, potentially, I'm gonna define an alert here if it comes a bit closer to this tier two zone. I don't
Yeah.
want to enter here. I think that's a bit. I want to wait until it really gets into it. Then potentially maybe a very small position size to the long side. With a very modest profit target, just maybe a bit higher, definitely below this resistance level. So let me just add
We have
a
a question
nice
here. I'm
alert.
just going to answer it.
Yeah,
How do you know what to choose if you can't scan? Well, there is a very limited amount of futures. We're trading futures here. So it's not unrealistic to open up a few tabs like Daniel has here, and you get kind of the most of the futures that people generally trade or that exist, at least for our markets. Sven wants to know, does your indicator work for the TradingView Pine Screener? Right now, no, but we do have something in the works. It will eventually. And the last question is, so you only trade based on your watch list? What if we don't have a watch list? Well, no, we just make it easier for ourselves to trade based on a watch list. You can copy our watch lists. You can open up symbols, not have a watch list. And if you use TradingView or most platforms, you could probably create a watch list.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is for day trading, but if you're more of a swing trader, what you can do is to attend our power scanning session on the weekends. The invite will be sent out where we have developed an entire dashboard for scanning through thousands of stocks based on Liquidity IQ and ME Rush. So that's something obviously you can consider as well. All right, perfect. Alrighty, so where were we? Okay, we have defined our alert here for the case that price goes into this tier 2 zone on platinum. But let me go back to my overview tab. Where are we right now? Okay. Okay, so Nasdaq is doing what we expected it to do. It's bouncing off this level, which is nice. And call me sometimes a little bit nervous, but I do like to sometimes book profits early in the day. It just gives me a good feeling. So
Definitely book that right now. Oh, we're only up 8. I thought
we're
we were up
only up
100.
$80, but it's you know I have a feeling that it's going to be a contested morning, even though
Yeah,
this
take the
looks good.
profits. Take them.
But it's just, trading is so much about psychology, and having like a good start into a day just gives you a good fuzzy feeling throughout. So trading psychology should not be overestimated. I think we're gonna, just book the profit here at $1 or $2. It's our profit target is not too far away. We book it. We have something in the register, and I promise you there will be new setups coming up today. So I'm gonna close out this trade. Normally, I would have potentially scaled into this position, and then maybe booked partial profits. But nonetheless, it's a good fuzzy feeling to start the day positive. So I'm happy this setup worked out. We planned it out nicely. Just to repeat, prices came down to this keys support level, which used to be resistance, but since it was broken, acted as support, and we had a second line of defense just below it at this high volume node. The reason why I'm saying I want to be careful here with keeping this trade on too long is because in the mornings, oftentimes markets change their minds very, very often. And of course, it's not impossible. This is going to come down one more time to this level. And I just want to, ring the register early today. All right.
Daniel, could you do me a
Yes.
favor, please? Could you go to the TI pairs matrix?
Yes, of
And I want to
course.
see what's the short term. What time frame is this on? The 15. What's the short
Yeah.
term between MNQ and gold? MNQ and gold.
So
MGC,
MNQ is
MNQ,
here
inverse. Good look, inverse short term. Um,
and not
okay, because I saw
correlated.
gold as NQ went up, gold came back down to that tier 2. So
Yeah.
maybe if NQ takes off, instead of going back in on NQ, we could try a tier 2 cross on gold if it happens.
If it happens, yeah. Even though long term they don't seem to be too correlated, or actually not correlated at all. A score around 0, it means there's no correlation. A higher score like -51, which is further away from 0, means either a direct correlation like between MES and MNQ, or in this case, -51 means there's an indirect correlation right now, in the sense that hey, if one goes up, the other one will go down. But let me go back to our overview. I want to see where we're at. Let's review what has happened so far. So we had PPI this morning, markets jumped up, came back down. Now they're trading up again. We ranked the register on this one. I'm happy with this. I like to be a modest trader. I'll take this, even though this one goes all the way up to our target, it's okay. I can live with that. So this is what's happening on the indices. I'm going to stay put on these ones for now. Then we have our metals here. So gold is at this crucial tier 2 level. And here we said, hey, we're going to let the market decide where it wants to go. So if you break away from this level, potentially I'm going to enter long here too, because then I think the market has resolved this big tier 2 level. And the overarching long uptrend for gold, it's been so bullish for so long, is likely to continue.
It's starting to lift off now, like within
Yeah.
seconds of us, within under a minute, it's changed big time.
Oh, gold, you mean?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
coming
almost
up,
at the highs of the morning right now,
Yeah.
or at least for the past, since the PPI came out.
Yeah, exactly. So I still gonna wait for let's just recap a little bit where we are. I think we're still in the proximity. I don't trust this breakout yet. It may come down again. So we'll see what other symbols we have. We have silver. So silver also was very, very bullish, but it's been more consolidating than gold. After this huge move up in silver, it's kind of in a range-bound pattern. You can see it here. Prices made all-time highs. Now it's been ranging back and forth. And we're somewhat in the middle of this range right now, near also a high volume node here coming up to this tier 2. So here, I'm also going to wait to see what's happening here. It's not so clear cut. Then we have copper down here. Nicholas, you mentioned this before. Copper broke out above this resistance level. So let's have a look at copper a little bit closer on the full screen. So I'm going to go back here and let's open up copper. Just 1 second. There we go. Where do we have it? MHG. Okay. So, and I always like to have a bigger picture of what's going on. Yeah, copper broke out, but I definitely will not chase this trend right now. First of all, this is not something I like to do to begin with. I like prices to come to me rather than to chase it. And secondly, do you see what I'm seeing? You see this little blue line here? This used to be a resistance level. It kind of went out of scope since then, but prices are very close to this level. And I think it's not impossible. We're going to see a bounce off this level to the short side at this price point. So here, what would get me interested is if we are coming down a little bit to this broken resistance level, which could then be a nice zone break retrace set up to the upside. But for now, I think we're going to stay on the sidelines here too for copper. What do you think, Nicholas? I'll put the alert here. That could be, yeah.
Sorry, I was muted.
An interesting zone break retrace
totally
if we
agree.
come
That's
down.
what I was thinking before. I don't know if we're going to get that in the time frame, but
yeah, you never know. Trading is a game of patience, and oftentimes, you if you wait long enough, the market will actually come to the level of where you want it to go. But the beautiful about trading is we have so many symbols to look at. And I promise you, we're going to get some alerts too. They are a bit shy right now, but sometimes they come in very quick succession. And if they come in, we're going to look at some of these interesting liquidity capture setups as well. All right, so that was copper. I put my alert here for prices to come down to this level. Let's see what else we have. We have platinum coming also down to this tier 2. Yeah. We have to find our alert. It's right here. We're not there yet, so we're going to patiently wait for platinum. Let's see what's going on in the commodities. Oil. So oil has been so rangy overall. If you go back to the longer time frames, we're currently at an interesting tier 2 level here. You can see it, and near this resistance level, but we're bullish. I kind of have a hard time to go short here against this trend, even though it seems to be a contested area, and the trend before was quite bearish. We're coming down quite some ways here. So let me zoom in on oil a little bit more. Okay, so MCL, micro crude oil. Where are we right here? All right. So what's going on here? So we're coming down all the way here. Now the trend, the overarching trend is somewhat bearish. We're coming down here, even though it's swung around. But now we're at this key resistance level at a zone of control and a resistance level here and another one up here. I mean, Nicholas, I'm not sure what you think, but this smells a bit bearish to me. This could just be a correction within this bearish downtrend, this little uptick that we're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, look, liquidity captures, that resistance level has passed away. So right now there would be more liquidity captures if it was still there. You see what I'm saying? Like if that had extended rightwards, there would be a bunch of liquidity captures here because the high volume
Because it's
day.
high
I
volume,
actually
yeah.
like it for a short entry like
Yeah.
right now at this moment.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so let's price this one out. And the way I would do it, trade this one, is I would put my stop loss above this level. I would give this trade a bit more room. So we're gonna price this one in. So that if we had like a high stop loss right up here. So let's see what we can do with this one. So I'm gonna go to my trading panel. A short trade, always limit order. Yes, it's important. Stop loss above this level. It's a bit too much for my risk tolerance. I'm gonna only risk 3 contracts, maybe let's say 4 contracts at $223. Similar risk as we had before on the Nasdaq trade, and our profit target just down here. I think if this one breaks down, I think we might go all the way going down to this support level here. So nice 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, give or take. So I'm gonna say sell trade here. Let's see if we can get our fill at this level. And yeah, as mentioned, I personally enter only by limit order because this is like a mental check that I have, which prevents me from chasing a trade, from having FOMO. So limit orders are a good way to do this.
We have a question here. I'm just going to answer it, Daniel, from Cliff. He asks, at tier 2s, basically his question is, how might you use the Power Bundle 360 indicators? So what I would do is, so they all have different, so you made a good point, Cliff, they all have different use cases, and I think, yeah, they would fit in different scenarios depending on how price approached the tier 2. So if price is coming up or coming down to a tier 2 and then snaps through it, and there's a volatility crusher signal, I think it's obviously a higher probability chance that the tier 2 is broken, and you can get depending on the statistics, you can get a reasonable targets and stop loss. And your other question was, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be thinking of 1-2-3 strike necessarily. Maybe similarly, if it would be like, maybe use 1-2-3 strike the same way you would volatility crusher for a tier 2 cross, because it's supposed to signal the start of a trend. But for Divergence Cloud, I think that would be great if price, for example, was above a tier 2 and came down to 1, hovered, and then Divergence Cloud gives a long signal while it's near the tier 2. That might be a sign that price is reversing off of it back to the upside. Kind of like what we saw with gold, or what we see with gold on the 15-minute.
Yeah. And actually, it's a really good question. So here, what I've done is I put Divergence Cloud on. It gave us a long signal here, which would have worked out nicely. But of course, now we're looking for a short. And if you want to wait for extra confirmation as per our Divergence Cloud indicator, what I would be looking for now is to see if we are getting a short entry signal of Divergence Cloud at this level. We're letting price to come up a bit higher. But if you see also a short,
it's ramping off of it.
Yeah, exactly. But so this will be the trifecta, everything lines up. We don't have the luxury of so much time in this live trading session, so we're taking trades a bit faster. But yeah, if you really want to have the trifecta set up where we have a key high volume node, we have key resistance nearby, and we're going to get a confirmation signal of Divergence Cloud showing us, hey, this temporary uptrend is coming to an end and may reverse to the downside. Yeah, everything lines up. Absolutely. Great question, Cliff. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to wait here to see if we get our fill, but I'm going to go back to my overview here. So this was oil. It's interesting level. Natural gas, the Widowmaker. Yeah, I said I don't discriminate for symbols, but maybe just natural gas is one symbol I like to avoid if possible. It's so erratic. You may think, okay, nice zone break to the downside here. We lost this resistance level, but no, prices reversed up. And you may have thought, oh, nice zone break retrace in a bearish trend. No, prices are coming up higher. It's very erratic. Not sure why that is, but it's definitely an interesting signal. Okay. So, and interestingly, we got an alert. In the heat of the moment, I didn't even see it. Let's see what the alert was that came in. So I'm going to go back
RB. What is that symbol, RB?
That's some kind of all contract. It's what is it? Let's open it up. Let's have a look. What is RB? It is some kind of oil. But great signal. Actually, this confirms our crude oil trade. Obviously, these two are related, crude oil and RB. That definitely correlate. I don't have to open up the correlation matrix for this. They're both in the oil space. It is, I don't know, it's gasoline futures. But Actually, I thought they were correlated, but now that I'm looking at it, it's gasoline, but I think that's probably still oil in the oil space. Coming up to a key resistance level. Let's have a look here. As per our liquidity IQ indicator and a liquidity capture at this level. So once again, this could be a really interesting short. Would I double down now? Because we already have this short entry on crude oil open. Probably not. But if we didn't have that order open, this could be an interesting short trade at resistance at a tier 2. Actually, this looks really good. Nicholas, what do you think? This
Where's
looks
MA
really good.
Rush? And we're on the 15-minute. MA Rush is bullish.
It's bullish.
But
Yeah,
you're
we
right.
came
Yeah,
up.
it's tier 2, and I do think, yeah, it's nice.
It's
It is
definitely
quite nice, eh?
nice. It is definitely nice. Maybe I'm going to swap this one out for my oil trade. Let me just quickly have a look at what is oil doing. Are we close to a fill here? I mean, it's definitely related. Both symbols, they are correlated. And in the end, I think it doesn't make a big difference. I like it better for crude here because it's a contract where we can scale much better. Because for this contract here, for RB,
yeah, great point.
It's an expensive contract. I probably would be only able to enter. Oops, where do we go? Only able to enter for one contract here, and then we couldn't scale. So I prefer, in this case, the micro crude oils for a short. But yeah, it's a beautiful setup. I would take this any time of the day if I didn't have another trade open. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Alrighty, we had another liquidity capture event here on ZW. I believe that is wheat futures at a support level. Let's see what's happening here. All right. So while this is loading up, it still takes a little time. And I used to be so successful trading these agricultural futures because they react so beautifully oftentimes to these liquidity captures. All right. Okay, yeah, it's an interesting one. You can see it here. Already something's happening here. And we bounce off this support level with a liquidity capture event. And the idea is, yes, this will increase our odds of seeing a bounce rather than seeing a zone break. Yeah. And by the way, this was our trade here that we called out in Discord. A short trade here with a profit target near this support level, which would have worked out beautifully. So I'm not sure if somebody took this trade from our Discord. All right. Yeah, but I kind of like it, Nicholas. Let me just see what is the overall picture here.
Gold's lifting off.
Gold's lifting off.
Highest it's been since the PP. Yeah, since like 835.
Yeah, let's check this out. For this one, if we come down a bit closer to this level, maybe let's take another look at this. I'm gonna put it on alert here. I don't want to jump the gun right away for this one. Okay, so let's have a look at gold. All right. Gold is lifting off. Yeah. Yep. It is definitely coming out of this tier 2 zone, as we will see in a second. Yeah. What do you think, Nicholas? You're thinking long, huh? Are you short gold still? You said you were short.
My stop is above the PPI high.
It's here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because look at the volume, how there's no volume there. It's probably going to zoom off.
Yeah. So let's keep. I'm going to wait. I'm also put an alert here. I don't want to jump the gun quite yet. Trading is a game of patience. I'm going to put my alert here to see if we get a bit higher. Because this may, sometimes you'd be surprised how long price actually can range in these high volume nodes. So this is still on the upper end of it. We may come down.
That's why I haven't closed my short. And just to, sorry to interrupt you, Daniel, but I haven't answered this question in a while. Caesar asked, there's two questions. They kind of relate. Caesar, how is Amazon looking? And Daryl, will you be doing any swing trades today? No, it's only day trades, and we are not day trading stocks like Amazon or anything.
Yeah, but as I mentioned, if you are interested in swing trading, join us in our Saturday session. It's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, where we will be using.
I'll put the link in the chat here.
Yeah, please do. So you'll be using our liquidity view dashboard. This one here, a little detour just for 20 seconds. Going to be using this dashboard here to look for interesting swing trades every single weekend, which is a super powerful scanner. It scans to 5,700 stocks to find the ones which currently have the most interesting swing trading setups based on you can see here, based on our liquidity IQ indicators and our trend radar and also our MA Rush indicator. So definitely, yeah, something to look forward to join us. And what's the link to a join? It's tradingindicators.com/scan, I believe.
Yeah, I put
Yeah.
/scan in the chat and another one for a free 7-day trial of the dashboard.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, Niklas. Awesome. Okay. So, quick update here. We did get our fill in oil. All right. So, okay, let's check it out. What's going on here? So, we get our limit entry. We have 4 contracts in, and the idea is that we will not be able to penetrate this resistance level, this high volume node, and this resistance level on top. So we have 3 lines of defense in this trade. And of course, even with 3 lines of defense, we might get wrong. Prices may zoom up. It is possible, but I like the fact that we have 3 factors here, which could stop price, which could prevent price from moving higher. So let's see how this one pans out. So this is a nice setup with a lot of defense in our favor. So let's see what happens there. All right, let me go back to our overview. Where were we? We were natural gas. We said we're trying to avoid this if possible. Wheat futures are bouncing off a little bit from this level. I didn't want to chase it, but oftentimes these are interesting setups which I like to trade. If I feel a bit more adventurous, I'm getting into the agricultural products. But they are super slow moving, so it would be almost like watching paint dry if we take this trade. Let me see what's going on in the crypto space and the FX space. Here we have, let's start with Bitcoin down here. We can see Bitcoin broke above a key resistance level. And here I might be waiting for a retrace down to this level, to this former resistance level, to consider potentially a long trade, especially since MA Rush just recently changed momentum from bearish to bullish. Up here we have the Euro futures. Let me just see what's going on here. Yeah, we went bearish. We're coming up to this tier 2 zone of volume IQ with, a support level not too far away and one up here. I mean, could be a potential interesting short if we are getting a bit higher, maybe for a small position size here with a wide stop loss.
Yeah.
All right, pound futures are here. Not so interesting here. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. And we have Ethereum down at this level here. We broke also here above resistance. And, as you may expect, Ethereum being a crypto symbol and Bitcoin being a crypto symbol, so oftentimes these are correlated. But let's check it out. Let's go to our matrix and let's look.
Yes, Ryan, just to answer, you can use the scanner for cryptos and Forex. And I put the 7-day trial on the dashboard, so to the dashboard in the chat, so you can check it out.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. Yeah, just looking at the correlation here between Bitcoin, MBT, Bitcoin futures, and Ethereum down here. Oh, actually, I probably should have put an Ethereum futures here to have a really true comparison. But we can see they are, in fact, somewhat correlated. Not completely to the dot. The prices are not in the high 80s or 90s like as we had with MES and MNQ, but still there's a correlation between these symbols. All right. But let me go back to our overview just to see what we could consider next. So, in fact, let's have a quick look at oil. How is our oil trade panning out? Yeah, still being a bit higher. That's okay. Our first line of defense is being tested right now. But of course, this was priced in. And I was hoping to potentially see prices stop at the latest at this key resistance level here. All right. So let's go back to the equities. What is going on there? Nasdaq is still going higher, and yes, you're probably gonna say, Daniel, why did you close out this trade so early? Well, it was a psychological reason. Trading is very multifaceted. There's psychology involved. There are the other factors involved than just the setup. And many people say, for psychology reason, they prefer automated trading, and we also have automated trading solutions available, by the way. And what I like about this trade here, I think it's probably gonna go higher because look at what happened here in the SPY. It's trading near the all-time highs that we have here, and we may see a breakout to the upside if this continues. Definitely interesting. All right. Okay, let me see if there's some questions coming in. What else do we have? Gold is, yeah, see, it's coming down a little bit. That's why I didn't want to chase this one here. This, the resolution of this tier 2 level of volume IQ, this can take some time. So we're going to wait here. Copper is coming down a little bit. You can see it here. We do have an alert in copper for it to come down to this level, which could be an interesting long opportunity. Silver is messy. I don't want to make a call here. Even if you get up to this tier 2 zone here, it's just very rangy. Then we're going to stay away. Platinum, it came down to a little bit, and our alert is defined here at this price level, so we're not there yet. We're going to wait for platinum. And we just got an alert in RB. Another resistance liquidity capture. Let's have a look. So a new bar was printed. Now we're still very much near this resistance level here. As soon as this opens, liquidity capture. And yes, I do like this one. If this one pans out, I think oil will also pan out. So I still have hope for this trade. The setup is still very much valid. All right. Okay, let me see if there are any questions coming in. All right. And by the way, guys, all these indicators, they are available on our homepage, tradingindicators.com. And if you're interested and have some questions, you can always send us a note via our homepage in the contact form. I just send, hey, Daniel, these indicators look so cool. I want to trade with them. How can I get them? Just send me a note and we'll let you know. Perfect. So let's see what happens here with oil. I still like it. We're coming down here. This, to me, you know, if I had to spin a market story for oil, what do I see here? I see oil has been in this longer term downtrend. Now we made a low here. Then we retraced a little bit. And if I were to measure this, just for the fun of it, from this high here to this low, I wonder what kind of retracement this here would be. So let's just have a look here for our FIB tool, FIB retracement from the high to the low. If we extend this over, let's have a quick look. There we go. Let me just take away the indicators for a second. I'm going to hide them. So much stuff on here. Let me just, there's a zoom control here as well, which I want to move away. Okay. Hide this one and this one and this one. And we can see here, where are we? The prices are near, nearly 50% retracement level. The 61 actually would be all the way up here. I don't want to expand my stop to this level. But my point was, hey, this, what we're seeing here right now might be just a retracement of this downtrend here. So this is why I think my overall feel for this position is to the bearish side. I think we are going downwards. This is a correction within that trend. We're hitting resistance. We're hitting a high volume node. My thesis, my prediction for the future is this downtrend will resume. So let's see if this one will pan out. So I'm going to take out this FIB tool here. It makes the chart very messy. All right. Perfect. Okay, so what else do we have? Nicholas, do you see anything of interest right now? Or as far as you can tell that we could potentially look at?
Well, not really. I see the oil trade starting to pan out.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not that interesting. We're already in it. But I am seeing as NQ tries to come up to the high 900s, gold continues to kind of struggle. So we're seeing that more negative correlation there. I'd really like within the next hour for NQ to really blast off to 24,000 again.
Yeah.
Not sure if we're going to get that, because then we would see something interesting happen on gold as well.
Oh, for sure. If NQ is able to take out these highs here, I wonder if these were the all-time highs in NQ. Let's have a quick look.
They aren't.
Just for context. They were not?
No.
Or they were? No? Let me see where they are, if we can see. Oh, yeah, that's true. We had them up here. Actually, in our swing trading analysis of NQ, we said it was a bit of a laggard compared to the S&P 500 futures because it didn't make all-time highs in a while. If you look at the MES, you can see we actually made all-time highs much earlier before. MNQ was lagging a little bit. But yeah, absolutely, there's some catching up to do. But if we can take out, I guess, this level here, this all-time high level is not too far away. And then if we take this one out, I think we could be flying.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
once that big round number
Yeah.
is broken, we're probably going to
Yeah.
see 24.5 pretty fast.
Yeah. But trading is a game of patience. We want to wait to see if this actually happens. This may take some time. Yeah, markets they are not concert where you can wish for a song. You have to just see what it gives you and patiently wait. But this is where the power of alerts come in. So we are a big believer of having trading alerts
Daniel,
defined.
look at your oil trade.
Yeah.
I
Oh
also
my
took it on
goodness.
my end, and it just all in a split second snapped into the profit.
Very good. Let's see what's happening here. Well, should we say this was not very surprising
And
because we
30,
had
was
this.
there news? Was there news? Because that happened right when we snapped to the 30-minute
Oh
mark.
yeah, you're right. We didn't even look at the news
No, I don't
events
see any
here.
news.
We had some distillate fuel production change. There's some lower news here. Yeah,
See if it
but
lasts.
yeah. OHO support liquidity capture. Yeah, I like it. You know what? Because I might be taking a profit here quickly again because I think after news events, oftentimes we do see a bit of back and forth. I don't want to give back too
Yeah,
much of this
take that right
position.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm booking it right now. All right, just grinding it up. Fuzzy feeling. I'll take what I can get. Especially in these live trading workshops where my focus is not 100% on all the stuff because I'm talking a lot. It's nice to just book ring the register early. But yeah, it worked out nicely. And I bet you the correlate symbol on RO or RB, sorry, it was this one here. I bet you it also went down because they're correlated.
Those
Yeah.
liquidity captures were a great signal.
Yeah, they are beautiful. I kind of wish we had taken it here, would have been a bigger position size, but that was such a clean signal and where everything came together. I mean, that was a thing of beauty. And this, if you are patient enough and you wait for setups like this, where you're hitting resistance, this blue line here, you are exactly at a tier 2 node, a high volume node, which will also act as resistance, and your overall sentiment is bearish, especially if you zoom out a little bit. Everything comes together, and that's where the gems are in terms of day trading. But it's something I need to be patient for and wait for. And one day, Niklas, I think maybe in the next month or so, we're going to present a strategy on MortarWave or NinjaTrader where it will look for exactly all these things together.
Yeah.
Because, the bots, they can just scan the markets 24/7 and they are infinitely patient to wait for these setups. And that could be something of interest to see. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I think that'd be great.
And you took that trade. Are you still in that trade, or
I'm still in it because I'm not on the the 92-minute to 2-hour timeline, so I'm just gonna let it ride out.
True. Niklas is way more patient than me when it comes to keeping trades open. But yeah, that's it's okay.
I'm not holding it for the session. That's what I mean. Like, I'll see what happens today.
That's right. But you know what? If it was just for my own account, I probably would keep this trade open too. But in these live trading sessions, of course, I'm a little bit more under pressure as anybody else because these are trades I'm showcasing. I like to show a profit. This makes me feel good and takes a bit of the pressure away. And again, trading psychology is an important thing. All right, good. This is a beautiful trade. I mean, my goodness, that's a textbook short entry. Beautiful, similar in oil. Okay, great. Good. So far, so good. Let's go back to the drawing board. Where are we in the indices?
NQ really slow, gold going up.
Gold going up. I'm sorry for your
back,
short position there, Niklas.
I'm not out yet, but yeah, it's going back up.
Okay. Yes. Okay. This is the indices. Yeah, it's slowing down here a little bit. Oh, platinum is going up. Remember when we said this looks good for a long trade if price comes down a little bit closer? We never got our entry there, but our prediction overall was correct. Yeah, we're probably going to miss out on this platinum trade here, but that's okay. We trade something else. Yeah, gold is going up. Still, I don't trust it yet. This, as I said, this resolution of this tier 2 can take quite a bit. All right, silver coming up to this tier 2. Yeah, I just personally have a hard time shorting silver and gold right now because they're so bullish overall. Copper is after a split retracement here, pushing up again. Platinum is pushing up. Let's have a look at natural gas. It's coming down. Oil, still coming down. But you might get a second chance in oil. It might come back up again and we can reshort it. Soybeans and wheat. Let's have a quick look at these exotic trades here. I like to trade them. They're super slow. They're very, very calm things to trade because they don't move much. And trading should not always be exciting. So let's have a quick look at wheat futures, ZW. I know we did have a liquidity capture here. Where was it? Down here. All right. Let's see what's happening. Okay. They're also very rangy for the biggest part. All right. So what's going on here? Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a good a setup as we had here, where we had two key resistance levels, and this was a nice short that we took. Now we're coming down to the support level. There's another level down here, but we're still a bit further away, and there's no big trading volume here. In fact, I think I'm going to stay away from a long trade here, even though it may pan out. We may see a nice bounce off this level, but not enough things are coming together here for me to pull the trigger. We are bearish MA rush. There are many other levels of support below, and oftentimes it's the lowest level, which is the strongest one, and we have low volume. So I'm gonna stay away from this one. But we have other ones. Let me go back to my watch list. What about corn futures? Where are we here in corn?
Have you traded corn recently, Daniel? I know you went a couple weeks just solely trading corn.
Yeah, that's true. I was so successful trading corn for a prop trading challenge. And you can see why. It's so respectful of these levels. Yeah, down to a level, bounce. Up to a level, bounce. Up to a level, bounce. And these are all liquidity capture events.
It has very good manners. Yeah.
It does have good manners, yes. One thing to note, guys, if you are considering trading these agricultural products, if you look at the trading times, actually, there's a couple of curious things going on there. If you look at the trading times, you can see it will close at 1:20 Chicago time, which is 2:20 New York time. It will close for a prolonged period of time until 8 p.m. Eastern time. So keep this in mind if you're wondering to open up trades around 1 p.m. You don't have that much time left until it takes a pause. And strangely, it also closes from 8:30 till 9:30 in the morning. It's not indicated here in these sessions, but the market will pause there as well. So this is something to be aware of when it comes to these contracts. Okay, and somebody wants to look at bonds. Yes, we can look at bonds. It's just oftentimes they don't have that many clean setups to trade. But yeah, let's have a quick look at bonds futures. Yeah, I actually have
that question asker, Daniel. I don't know if you saw, they wanted you to scroll down to show the bonds part of your watch list so they can take a screenshot.
Oh, just the watch list? Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So I think you are all the way scrolled down. So that's all we have. It's four different bond futures. Yeah.
It's just oftentimes of bonds, they're messy. So they don't give me a good feeling to trade them because the picture is not so clear. You can see it here. I don't know what to think of it so much. They just look messy. So that's why I oftentimes stay away from trading bonds. I've traded them, but only if the setup is very clean. So that's for bonds. All right. And Rob, we're going to look at some power bundle trades and also in a bit. Yes, absolutely. In fact, let's have a quick look at oil. Let's see if we would have gotten a signal on oil for our divergence.
Probably not on the 15-minute. I highly doubt that
it's a bit slow moving.
Indicators are slow acting. Or at least they don't always take a signal. Maybe on the 5-minute.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, that's a good question. And yeah, look why I closed out this oil trade, because after news, and again, this comes with just a feel. You can't really quantify, but after some kind of news event comes in, markets tend to, they have moves, but they're not always lasting all the time. They bounce back and forth. So it's good to ring the register a bit early. But let's put on Divergence Cloud here. I'm going to hide the other indicator just to keep the picture clean and only, let's say, put on divergence cloud, which is our reversal indicator. No, nothing here yet. We're still long here on the signal back here, but let's go to a smaller time frame to see if you would have seen a short signal. Actually, we would have gotten one back here in this level, which is panning out. It saw some signs of bearish divergence. You can see here the reddish cloud. It's a bit hard to see, but it's here. It shows you the position size. We're fairly far away trading stop all the way here. But yeah, but we're still in this trade.
Not that far, only 60. That's what's nice about the short term. It looks far, but that's why you go small
That's
trading
true.
size. And then
That's
you
true.
can
It's a
use
5
the max risk sizing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this I think will potentially will pan out. Let's see what the previous signal were. Here we had a nice long signal, which would have worked out beautifully. Here long, here short. Yeah. So yeah, these indicators, they give you signals, and ideally you want them to coincide with a prediction that you have. It's just, this is really a patience game then to find these perfect setups where everything comes together. But yeah, this is definitely encouraging for a bigger move to the downside here in oil, that we have a short entry signal here on divergence cloud. Let's quickly look at the other ones, at 1 to 3 strike. So divergence cloud is our trend reversal indicator or divergence indicator. 1 to 3 strike is our trend entry indicator. The picture is a bit different.
But here, this is a good time to look at profit factors and win rates.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3 strike, you see it has this enter on a pullback. So that's actually kind of like coded into the indicator there, where it snapped down, gave us that long signal and gave us a wide stop, but a very wide stop, right? So
the stop is here. Yeah, exactly.
things are very volatile. And if you look at the past trades, that stop is like, except for that one right there, that stop is like 3 to 4 times wider than the average stop on a trade, which I find is oftentimes a sign, be careful. That's why it's telling you to go smaller size. And the win rate for long signals here is 76%, high profit factor. That's great. But Divergence Cloud, on the other hand, had a 100% win rate in both directions.
Oh, it did? I didn't even see that.
For a similar amount of trades, yeah.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
So I would trust it more.
Yeah, exactly. Even though the profit factor on 1 to 3 strike was also great. So, even though it was not 100%, but it was still pretty good. Let's look at Volatility Crusher. If you see a signal here, 1 second, which is our breakout indicator, just to see perhaps if we did get a signal here. Yeah, we had a long here, but this is where your market story comes in. I would not have taken this long trade because if we add on liquidity IQ to it.
Look at the profit factor and win rate too, or just the profit factor for longs.
Oh, yeah, it's not good. Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't take that. Yeah.
And we would go right into this resistance level. So this trade for sure, you could have qualified it by, or disqualified, I should say. Just be looking at, hey, where is what are we going up against? Yeah, against this key resistance level, against this high volume node on volume IQ. Absolutely.
Gary says oil is starting down. Yeah, actually, Gary. Yeah, it just came back up a little bit, but I scaled in one more contract after Daniel pointed out that Divergence Cloud set up, and gold is really quickly struggling right now. My short is now flat. So
very good. Yeah, that's why I said, hey, these zones, if you look, I mean, I don't want to pat my shoulder, of course. But I did say it. These zones, they take times to resolve. This is a huge high volume node. Look at the size of this
We're actually on the 5 minute, Dan. If you go to the 15 minutes, it's a clearer picture.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, at this key high volume node. Yeah, we're coming down here. I'm still more biased to the upside, but I didn't want to jump the gun, especially at these high price levels. So let's see what's happening here. I'm still a bit cautious. It's also not the dream setup in the sense that it doesn't coincide with a key support level. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm happy for you, Nicholas, that you are flat on your. Oh, you're flat, or you're plus minus zero?
No, I'm flat. I'm basically like down $10, but before it was a lot worse.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, oil is starting to go down. We saw this. And you said you scaled in another contract here?
On oil, yeah, just when I saw that Divergence Cloud, and just because I only was in one contract, and there's just such good reward to risk, obvious points to get out, like those highs. For me, it's those swing highs above the tier 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right there. That's my stop. And that's also a halfway mark between 63 and 64. So I like to get out often at those numbers if they are technically correct.
Yes. Good point. Okay, cool. Great. Yeah, hopefully this is gonna pan out. Yeah. And yes, I did jump the gun early, but that's, it is what it is. I still feel good about it. Okay, let me quickly have a look at the indices. Yeah, Nasdaq's just slowing down. Not much happening here. Nice zone break retrace setup worked out beautifully, as we called it. Dow is, it looks a bit, let's look at Dow a bit closer. We are at this tier 2 zone here. We broke it to the downside. We're still bullish. And I would get interested here in Dow if you actually go down to this key support level for potentially a long trade, but we're still a bit further away. And Gary said he's out of oil. Gary, I hope you made some profits with that trade. All right, great. Oh, look at this. Platinum is crossing our level. Let's see what's going on there. Okay.
Gold is coming down now. Good.
Oh, gold is coming down. That's good.
Yeah, now I'm happy. But we'll see. It's still in the tier 2.
Okay, platinum at this tier 2 zone right now. Let's have a look. What can we see here? We are bullish. We are right at this tier 2 zone. I mean, this is an expensive contract to trade. Let's just price it out, but I'm not going to pull the trigger quite yet. What if we were entering here? Let's say around this level for a long trade. This is our sentiment here. I mean, it would be, I would definitely not put my stop all the way here where I may need to do it. It's so expensive. It would need to be like a quick scalp at these levels here. But this is one of these contracts that which would now basically not make me trade consistently anymore because in terms of position size, because I'm risking way more on this one here compared to what I was risking on the other contracts. And trading is so much about consistency if you want to build up a record where one trade should not overpower all the other ones. And for this reason, we're going to decide right now, this will be above our risk tolerance. We're not going to take this trade, even though this looks for an interesting long one.
Great idea.
But yeah. If you look at our risk management, which is key, we're going to reject it. That's fine. And Gary said he made 230. Great. Is that US dollars or Canadian dollars, Gary? It's probably US dollars. Okay. Alrighty, perfect. Let's see. Okay, this was platinum. Which other alerts did we have? And we did have one. Oh, this was our crossing here. Okay, got it. All right, perfect. We had Amazon requested. Let me just quickly look at Amazon for the fun of it. We have a bit of time. Markets are slow right now. What's going on with Amazon from a day trading point of view? All right. So, let's see. We're bullish here as per MA Rush. We're coming down to this broken resistance level for a zone big retrace. Went a bit further down than we thought. And there's a tier 2 at this price level here, but a big gap which may get tested. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of day trading stocks because they're so gappy, and I'm always so aware of these gap fills that they can happen. But if I had to take a trade here, I think it would be to the long side. The momentum is bullish. We had a bit of a retracement to this key resistance level now acting as support. And I think that the upside would continue, but you have to be aware, hey, this gap here, which happened yesterday when the market opened, might still get tested over time. Yeah. All right. So let me go back to our overview. Where do we stand? Okay. Nasdaq is, where it was before, bounced off nicely from this level. Dow is going further down, approaching now this support level. Let's see, let's have a closer look at Dow. What's going on there?
I wonder if that's somehow going to drag down the other indices.
Yeah.
Leading them possibly. Or something.
Yeah, big move down here in Dow. Yeah, coming down to this support level down here with a bit of a higher volume node. It's not the highest volume node, but it's also not a low volume node. You can see here that it stands out. It's pretty much the second biggest node on the chart here on these 50-minute time frame. I mean, it could be interesting to see what happens if we actually are getting to this level. Maybe even with a liquidity capture, this could be potentially a little small long trade here in Dow, anticipating a bounce off this level. Our first line of defense, and our second line of defense would be this higher volume node with some buyers also on this level. You can see it here, this bluish area. It means this is dominated by buyers in this price level, which may prevent price from going much lower. This could be a nice long opportunity, but I definitely would like to wait until prices come further down. So let me put a little
Yeah, that
alert
our
right here.
classic MA rush backed long bounce.
MA
Get
rush
it nice
back long bounce. Yeah.
liquidity. And look, there's a nice, it's not a tier two, but just if you're not
It's a
familiar
bigger
with reading
volume.
volume profiles, that's clearly a floor.
Yeah. Yeah. We have this little, you can see like this carved out area of lower volume. And then we have the floor here with this bigger volume node
With
right
buyers. Yeah.
below. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. I'll put my alert here at this price level. Let's see if we're gonna get there. Once again, trading being a game of patience. All right. So that's Dow. It's interesting.
Gold
And
is at its lowest since the start of our trading session. So maybe there's
perfect.
actually a setup, like a confirmed setup getting ready there for us here in the trading session.
For a short, you mean now in
Oh,
this
but
case?
yeah, but okay, I remember you're not a fan of it. So I'll stop pointing out gold.
No, I'm happy. I mean, honestly, we always said at the beginning, for gold, we let the market decide where it wants to go. And if we see a decisive break of this high volume node once this loads, I might not be completely against it, but you know, it's still rangy to me. So it's nice to see it
Definitely.
here, but I want to see a decisive move going into this low volume areas here, and then I might take a little short trade because then once we get into this lower, you can see the stair stepping pattern here where volume successively gets lower step by step. This is where I think price would then accelerate to the downside, and I would interested to get into for a short trade, but we're not there yet. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Great. And by the way, it's so refreshing to bounce off idea and just talk about trades. Even, of course, Nicholas is listening and answering back, but you guys are not answering back, but still it helps me to keep my mind clear and not to jump the gun too quickly, just to talk things through and, make me understand what the setup could be all about. And at some point we had an idea here at Trading Indicators to introduce pair trading. And I'm not sure if any programmers are here. In our room, there's the concept of pair programming, where you would write code, whatever it might be, software code. One guy would be coding, and he would explaining what he's writing to somebody else next to him. And just by doing this, it turned out, at least back in the day when this was popular, that you tend to make less mistakes. You tend to write cleaner and better code. And I think the similar principle can apply to trading as well. Just by explaining your setup, by talking to it, you may qualify or disqualify it, or perhaps realize something which you may not have realized before.
For sure. And Daniel, that was a great call to get out of, and Gary too, to get out of oil. I just got out of oil flat. But
What
it's
happened
come
now?
back up.
Oh, it did? Oh boy. Yeah. News events. It's tricky to do. There's so many fake outs in these news events. As a reminder, we did have the a low impact event apparently, but with two bars here, crude oil import change, crude oil something something. So something was happening at 10:30. We had some reaction here off this key level. Prices came back up, and once again, we're testing this level. I'm gonna short it again. If we see a liquidity capture event, maybe on RB futures, this one here, maybe we can double dip, rinse and repeat the same pattern. I still love this one here. Look at this big tier 2 coinciding with this key resistance level. So if we're coming up here with a liquidity capture event, maybe short it again. Why not? And Gary said this, he might get into another short all. There's still resistance. Yeah, for sure. Same pattern. I'm glad you booked profits, Gary, in oil. All right, perfect. Okay, so let's recap. Where are we? Well, 90 minutes into our session, we did have 2 trades taken. If you remember, we had our long trade here in NASDAQ, which worked out beautifully, zone break retrace trade, backed up by a high volume node of our volume IQ indicator. And we had our short trade in crude oil. Where is it? Oh, it's here. In crude oil, where we are bouncing off this high volume node backed up by key resistance levels. All right. And natural gas, yeah, it's just doing its erratic thing. Zone break came up above the zone. You probably would have got stopped out, now breaking down again. It's just such a complicated contract to trade. All right. For the fun of it, let's look at some of these agricultural contracts here. I like to look at them just because they just trade so nice and slow, and sometimes they have very clean setups. So let me quickly look at those. Go to the trading pit panel. Let's look what's going on here with ZW. Wheat futures. All right. There we go. Yeah, near the support level. It is off. Sometimes it can be a good idea to take a long trade here, playing the bounce. I just don't like the fact that there's no volume there and two other levels just below this, which often are the more important ones. What is ZM doing? Let's have a quick look. Zooming in a little bit into this contract. In no man's land, not of interest to me. I like to trade when, oh no, actually not. I thought it was a no man's land. Actually, it's not. It is actually a beautiful zone break retrace setup. And let me just quickly remind me, what is this? Soybean meal futures. Okay. All right. We're bullish. There's no volume here, which is a bit of a concern. So we may go a bit lower until we get to this level here. But nonetheless, this could be an interesting zone break retrace setup where we might go long again. Too bad there's no volume. I mean, I would have loved to see a big volume node here. That could have been such a clean setup. There's literally like low volume here, which oftentimes make prices just smash through it. But I do like it for... let me just price it out. Let's just have a quick look for the fun of it to see what we be dealing with here. So let's see we're entering here at this level. Stop loss just where volume picks. Actually, it's not very expensive. It's a cheap contract. It's just below this low volume node. We have a target right at this high volume node here. Could be something of interest. Nicholas, what do you think? For
I do
potential
agree.
long...
Yeah. But I also agree.
Oh boy.
Second, I'm just
we
waiting.
are also too bearish.
Oh, I'll wait till you zoom in again.
Yeah. But there's no volume.
Yeah, if we come down a little lower there, because there's no volume here and there's a tier 1 sell zone, we're probably definitely going to sell down. There's lots of sellers, but I think it's better reward to risk if you get it a little lower.
Yeah, I put an alert. I don't want to keep it in my limit order here. I will just put a price alert if it comes to this level to rethink it. I'm not convinced on this one yet. Not everything is coming together, and the fact that there's no volume here is making me a bit nervous for that one. Yeah. But yeah, let's see if price gets here, what we're gonna do. All right. Okie dokie. What else do we have? That's another slow trading day today, huh? Which is kind of normal after the huge moves that we have in oil and all these things. They're taking a breather. Nasdaq is chilling out. MES is coming down a little bit closer for a potential zone break retrace, and Dow is testing this level.
Gold is holding, coming back up as ES comes down.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at ES. We haven't looked at it carefully yet. So MES, the S&P 500 micro futures. Let's see until this opens up. And let's see if we do have some signals of our indicators here. So we're coming down a little bit. Yeah, it's just that there's also no big volume here. The big volume node is all the way down here at this level, 6,500. We are definitely very bullish. That's a fact. If we come down here, potentially we can consider a long trade. And, the reason why there's no volume here is, of course, not that much volume, is because prices just discovered this area. There hasn't been that much trading going on. These are all-time highs. It hasn't been visited yet, so volume is slow. So I guess this can be explained that way. And if you come down to this level, potentially a long zone break retrace here. Let's put an alert as well for this one if we come down to this price level. All right. Good, guys. If you have any questions, please put your questions into the Q&A box or symbol request while we're patiently waiting for the market to give us something. I know the beauty about these alerts is I get them on my phone. So as you can imagine, we are trading indicators. We're not only trading, we're also developing indicators. We're preparing presentations, educational material. And these quiet market phases are a great time to do so. And if something is happening, we simply get an alert, and then we can jump over to the chart to check it out to see, hey, would this trade make sense? Yes or no? All right. Okay, let's go back to our overview. Yeah, the indices are coming down a little bit. Dow is definitely coming down to this level here. And we got a new liquidity capture. 6N. This is the Kiwi futures, the New Zealand dollar
Kiwi?
futures.
Like the
Yeah.
the fruit?
Oh, no, Kiwi.
Oh, like or New Zealand or whatever it is. Yeah, is it New?
Yeah. I think it's the nickname for the um, New Zealand dollar. And I think it's named after the bird, the national bird of New Zealand, not the fruit. But let's see what's going on here. Yes, at this key resistance level, we came in for liquidity capture, but we are very bullish here in low volume. Not my cup of tea, once again, to short this. I probably would rather trade the breakout if it happens to the long side, which is way too bullish with no clear high volume node nearby. So we're gonna also skip this one. And we had another one. Oh, oil. Oh, look at this. Just a new one. RB. Let's have a look. What are we seeing right here? In oil, a liquidity capture coming in at this high volume. Now, this just happened right here, and prices already came down a little bit. I still kind of like it if we can get a good entry right in this level here. I definitely would not chase it. Let me just price it out to see what's going on, how expensive this contract is. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and move this over a little bit. There we go. So entry right at this level. That's where you want to get in. Stop loss just above. Oh, it's a sell trade. Yeah, as you can see, it's an expensive contract. That's why I said in the beginning. Yeah, it is pricey. And also this, unfortunately, would be above our risk tolerance for today, risking $488 on this trade. It's just twice as much as we took before. And as mentioned before, we want to be consistent. Yeah, if you're starting off with, hey, this is what we're risking today per trade, well, trading the most interesting setups, we don't want one trade to overpower all the other ones. So this would disqualify the setup. But if it comes up, I'm going to set an alert for price to come up to this level. Maybe I'm going to just do this trade on CL instead because they're very correlated. Okay. Okay, what else do we have? Ron wants to see IREN. Okay, let's look at this stock. What is the stock? Iron Limited. Not too familiar with this one, to tell you the truth. Oh yeah, we broke off above resistance here. All right. And oh, very bullish stock. Yeah, nice one. I would, if you coming down to this level here, which is also backed up with this higher volume node, yeah, this could be an interesting long setup. If we are coming down, I would not chase it right now all the way up here. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Okay. Let's go back to the overview. What else do we have? Nasdaq is chilling out.
Back in a
Dow
moment,
is
Daniel. I'm just grabbing a water bottle.
Dow is coming near to this level here. This might become interesting in just a second. And it looks like I did not define the alert properly. I don't see it here. Let me quickly go back to Dow to see if I missed that one out. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's actually right at this level here. I guess I didn't set my alert properly, which could be an interesting long entry here on the Dow futures, anticipating a bounce off this key support level, which also has high volume right here. So what I'm going to do is I will set another alert right at the lower end of this carved out area. Do you see this one here? This carved out area. If we get there to this price level, I think this could be an interesting long trade. Buyers are stepping in here. I don't want to get in here because we have this fairly low volume. But if you're coming down a bit further, this could be a nice low risk, high reward trade. All right. So while this is while we're waiting for this one, let's look at another symbol request. MASS 908 Devices Inc. What are these guys doing? I have no idea. Bearish on these 50-minute time frame. Zone break here. Oh, that's an interesting one for potentially a short trade. Steffen, at least it looks like this. We broke support here. We came down, now coming up, and we have this high volume node right here, potentially acting as resistance for another leg further down. Yeah, could be an interesting trade for sure. All right. Okay, let's go back to our Dow futures just to see what's going on here. Yeah, prices are still in this level. I really don't want to go in this low volume node because prices are probably gonna go through it to this higher volume node here eventually. So here we want to be patient and not chase it. All right, let me see what's going on in the indices. Yeah, they're all coming down a little bit, but Dow is definitely the biggest one here. If you look at the performance stats here, yeah, Dow is the only one negative right now at 0.54% down, whereas the other indices are either neutral or up a little bit. All the agriculture futures are down. It's also kind of funny to see sometimes how they move in patterns. Oil is up, RB is up on the course of the day, of course. Gold is, oops, I shouldn't have clicked here. 1 second, I have to go to the proper tab. Gold is, yeah, still chilling out here. As mentioned, this area will be contested. Remember I said at the very beginning that these high volume nodes, they will slow down price. They will not power through these levels with ease. And exactly this is what's happening here with gold. It's just very highly contested. Something that we could have anticipated. All right, let's go on. Over what time period are your volume levels computed if you're looking at the 5-minute chart?
On TradingView here, if you're looking on a 5-minute chart, there it's computed over 500 5-minute bars.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always based on bars. So and that's on TradingView. And I think on the other platforms, this indicator we have it also on NinjaTrader and Motivwave. I believe, Niklas, and correct me if I'm
Configurable, like
wrong.
yeah, you can put as many bars as you want to be calculated. But on
Yeah.
TradingView, what we'll usually do is because there's a maximum look back limit you have on TradingView, you can't look back 2,000 bars, just not possible. So
Yeah.
what we'll do is if you're on a 5-minute chart and you want to get that longer look back, go to a 15-minute chart and you'll have a bigger picture. Go to a 30-minute chart, and we often do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can just zoom out, as Niklas said here. So if you want to go further back to see what other volume levels are, simply go to the 30 minutes to
It-
get twice as big of a look
yeah,
back,
and you can
basically.
oftentimes use this like really pinpoint trades or when the tide is shifting, because you might see on the 30-minute that like right here we lost that tier 2 above
Yeah.
us, but
Hmm.
then maybe if you go on the 1 hour or 2 hour, you find that there's a tier 2 that we're hitting right now or something
Yeah.
like this, and then you realize, okay, maybe the short's not as high probability as I thought. I don't think that'll be the case here, but
Well, let's see.
I
Yeah,
often
that's
do
it.
that. Like, or if you're expecting something to happen, like a
Yeah, it's
retracement,
similar. Yeah.
maybe, a retracement, there's a tier 2, let's say on the 1 hour, it's way below price, and you're trying to figure out, okay, when are we going to pull back to there? Well, maybe you zoom into the 5-minute and you see, oh, we just lost the 5-minute tier 2, and that might be a sign we're going to accelerate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because actually Niklas coined this cool term. We've used it quite a few times in our material. Time frame tunnel vision as something that you don't want to have, where you only focus on one time frame and you only see like really a small subset of the picture of the overall market story. So oftentimes it's a good idea to zoom out to bigger time frames. Of course, to some degree, we've already built in some protection against time frame tunnel vision into our indicators. For example, MA-Rush, but also Liquidity IQ, they do indirect, or not indirectly, they do internally a multi-time frame analysis, checking for what's going on the higher time frames, which gives you some protection against time frame tunnel vision. Gary says he has an order in for oil. It needs to move a little higher to fill another short. Yeah. Oh, look at the. Oh man, I'm hesitant. I have my alert here, Niklas, for Dow. What's your take on this? My take would rather be to the long side, but I don't like the power of this move here.
Yeah,
It's
me
really
neither.
zooming
Like, I feel
down.
like it's going to break and then it's going to retrace and then break further down.
Yeah.
Um,
It feels like catching a falling knife, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so we're gonna skip this one too. It's I don't want to go against this really powerful move here to the downside. I think all the indices, they're losing a little bit of steam. The Russell also turned into negative territory now. Nasdaq is going down a little bit. MES is going down. So it's a pattern. Oh, RB came up. Oh, that's interesting. And resistance liquidity capture on oil. Okay. Now things are getting a little bit more interesting here. We got a couple of events here. Let's switch gear. Let's look at crude. We said we couldn't trade RB. It's too expensive for us, but crude, rinse and repeat potentially. Let's see. Oh, look at this. What a beautiful signal that would have been. Exactly to this high, to this resistance level here, and a liquidity capture at this event. Let's see if we want to trade this to the short side again.
Actually, what's funny is I closed out my short I said before, right, on oil, and I forgot to close my stop. So I looked in my account, all of a sudden I'm long oil. So I exited really quickly, but it was for a small profit.
I'm just gonna quickly price this out. Yeah, this is funny. I mean, I kind of like it. I just feel that potentially oil might be going higher here. If anything, I would trade this for a smaller position size to see what if we potentially have another short opportunity here. Right at this level, let's zoom in a little bit. All the oil contracts are zooming up, giving us these alerts here. Entry around this level here at this high. I'm gonna say it. Yes, sell this one for a very small one. It's a super small position size. I may add onto it if we get our fill. And the idea is that we're gonna bounce off this level to the short side once again. The reason why I'm a bit smaller right now is I have this theory that the more often we test the level, we came up here again, we tested it, we came up here. Now we're kind of testing this cluster once again, the weaker it will get. It's like using a hammer, hitting on a frozen pond. Eventually, the ice will break. That's why it would be just a small trade here to the short side. Once again, playing on the idea that this bearish move here is going to continue after this retracement. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, and we don't like where's price right now? Price is now broken above the tier 2.
It is,
Number
yeah.
one. Number two, MA Rush is bullish. The only thing in our favor here is that the resistance might hold up.
Yeah, that's we only have one line of defense left in this case, and we had a liquidity capture. We'll see. Gary said he got filled. Gary, good luck to you. So even if I don't get filled, I know, Gary, you will have a successful trade. So I'm happy for you. All right. Let's have a quick look at HO. Oh, support liquidity capture at Dow. I think things are getting interesting right now. Let's switch over to Dow. What are we looking at here? We went right into this level here. Actually came a little bit further down, and a liquidity capture at this higher volume node. Yeah. It's just the only thing here is it feels like this is a falling knife to be caught, which is sometimes not the best idea because it may hurt you. What do you think, Nicholas? Should we
Well, the other
bullish?
indices aren't falling, right? So you know what? Take it. I'd rather take this than take the oil. That's for sure.
You really?
Yeah. I mean, there's
All right.
liquidity capture. We're bullish. It was a very extreme drop. There's several
Yeah.
factors that can hint that it's going to bounce.
But I would probably, if I take it, I would probably take it with a small position size at my stop being here. This would be my second line of defense right below this support level here. Small
I'd even
position
enter
size.
one contract there just because for risk equivalence from our gains
That's a
today.
good point. And in fact, this actually would probably be the best. Wow, this would give it a lot of room.
Too
Let me
much,
just
yeah.
price this out. Going back up to the high levels here, this would be really for a range bound trade of this contract at current levels. Just see where are we right now. Yeah. So place this order here. It will be a small feel buy to see if we can see a balance off this level. I might I might even get out earlier if I feel like, hey, this level is just gonna zoom through this support level. Okay, so we did have another liquidity capture. ZW. Ooh, falling down. Yeah, wheat futures. And here I mentioned there's no volume here. Well, at this level here, yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do it. It's too erratic, and the overarching trend here is definitely to the downside. If you look a bit further back, or even further, I guess. At least that's what I thought. Somewhat range bound. Nonetheless, I mean, we had this level here, but there's another level just below here. So I think oftentimes the second level is going to be the one which will hold up the strongest. All right, good. Let's see what oil's doing. Back to oil. It's coming down a little bit. So Gary, I think you might be in the green already here on this oil trade. We may have lost our opportunity here. Oftentimes, when you see these liquidity captures, prices will go up and go down immediately. If it stays too long on this level,
Volume
looks
IQ
more...
also, Daniel, if you can change a setting, it's timed out on this chart.
Oh, it's timed out. Okay, 1 second. Yes, I'm just gonna do this.
There's the gear icon there, you know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick switch and switch back. There we go. All right. Okay, so we have 2 orders in. One for Dow and one for crude. Is this still pending? Oh, we just got the fill on Dow. Okay, let's have a look on this Dow trade. As mentioned before, I may close this one out if I have the feeling we're going to just zoom through the support level here. Let's see what's happening. It's a very small position
small
size.
risk. It's such an inexpensive contract. I would even, I think you'll feel more comfortable with the trade if you just scroll out a bit. I just want to see what volume IQ is showing, so we can see the right side of volume IQ. I would put the stop. I wouldn't wait for that. Like at that point, the game's over. We've already been in a zone break for probably 4 hours by that point. I would put the stop just at that first neutral zone. If you go up, the first.
Oh, right here. This one
right
here.
there. That's like at the bottom of that. That's where I would put my stop.
Yeah.
Because then I don't care about, because you're gonna get emotionally invested if it starts to drop more near that crazy far stop.
Yeah. Thanks for looking out for my emotional state, Nicholas.
No, that's just what I would feel. I'm looking at that. I'm like, man, I would not be happy. I put my stop there. Right?
That is true. Yeah, good point. Yeah, and I didn't have a good feeling. Remember when I said this is like catching a falling knife? I was just trying to see if we can see that bounce, but you're right, Nicholas. I think we will be, yeah, this is going against this. So let's put this one in the middle here. Maybe we're gonna hold this level.
I've been muted for a while. Sorry, Daniel. Yeah, right there. And then look, we still have 13 minutes for that zone break to be invalidated. It's not even a confirmed zone break yet.
Yeah, no, you're right. We'll see. We may see the bounce of this one, especially with a liquidity capture coming in. And if you get stopped out, hey, trading is the numbers game.
And then Q's coming down, so maybe it'll drag it down. But I think it's worth a try.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, they're all coming down a little bit. Let's have a quick look at oil.
Dean Seng says that MCL just had a 1, 2, 3 strike short signal on the 15-minute.
Oh, cool. Let's check it out. Did we on the 15 minutes? 1, 2, 3 strike. I don't see which.
Could you open up the settings for 1, 2, 3 strike, Daniel, please?
Oh yeah, 1 second. Hang on, it's such a messy chart now.
You could just hover your cursor over the name of it and click the gear icon. I wasn't sure why you weren't doing.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah. And then change please change the sizing max risk to 999 just to get it to re-update.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I want to see if perhaps it's because we had it on earlier and it optimized differently. No, I don't know. No. We don't see that. Maybe we have slightly different settings, Dean.
Yeah, or maybe get who said it? Dean, are you using the AI version of the indicator, or are you using the AO version, the previous generation of the indicator? Maybe let us know. And Gary said a new high in oil will stop me out for a small loss. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, also here our Dow trade. I mean, if this doesn't pan out, if we don't see the immediate bounce of this level, we're going to be stopped out too for a small loss. And that's just be it. Oh, 4,000 bars look back period. That's why you had it. So let me go back to MCL. I'm gonna change the settings here
I
of
don't
1
even
to
know.
3
I'm
strike.
surprised that it's calculated for you, Dean.
Yeah.
4,000 bars. I've never done that. Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe
Maybe there's
Dean
another
has
setting that's
maybe
different
Dean has
too.
special conditions of trading view. Let's
Yeah,
see.
no, it times out immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, it's timed out. Yeah, that's curious, Dean.
Are you even
How
on
do you
TradingView, Dean, or on your Motive Wave or something? Because they're not going to be the exact
Oh, it
same.
might be. Yeah. Yeah, this will not run on TradingView with such a big look back. Sure, what do we have? 1,000 bars, I believe. Let's keep this one here. All right. Anyways, yeah, maybe it's on a different platform. Okay, so what else do we have? Let's look at the indices. So we have our small trade open here on Dow futures. I don't like it that much anymore. I
No,
see the zone break
NQ is pulling
signal.
back pretty fast.
They're all pulling back. So we'll see. Well, it will not be the end of the world. The option size is minimal for this trade with a tight stop loss. Oil is just chilling. I'm sorry, gold is just chilling out in this area. As predicted, high volume node right here. Platinum, we said potentially a long entry if we're coming off this node. Yeah, we could have scalped it in, but we rejected it for reasons of risk management. But it would have worked out. Coming down here again, you see this, Nicholas? It would have been a nice long trade here
Yeah.
of this high volume node, which would be just acting as support.
It's scary,
So
that one for a long, though, because it's ranging, and
it's
if it loses
ranging.
that tier 2,
Yeah.
probably going to drop down to the support.
Yeah. I reserve my little scary trades, which are more speculative for futures, which are less expensive than platinum. It's an expensive contract too. All right, what else do we have? Yeah, crude is right here. We
Dean
didn't
is
get
on
filled
Ninja
yet.
Trader. So Dean, yeah, the optimization is different, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, wheat futures down here, bouncing off this level. See, I shouldn't have been so timid, but it's good. It's good to be let me go back here to wheat futures real quick. It's good to be timid sometimes, but yeah, this is exactly what we hope for, a bounce off this level with liquidity capture to higher price levels. So yeah, that seems to be panning out. And the way I typically trade this is a very aggressive profit target. It's not too far away. I just get in and out quickly if I see the bounce happening. All right. Great, perfect. So we're nearing the end of this session. So I'm going to quickly look at my Dow trade and oil just to review where we are right now. So Dow just bouncing up a little bit. We'll see if this lasts. I don't have the biggest hopes for it. If not, no harm, no foul. It's going to be a small trade, a small loss, I should say, at the minimal position size. And oil, let's have a look here. Coming up to this entry level. But as Nicholas said, we lost this tier 2 level here of volume IQ.
I don't see much. The problem with this, I don't see much profit area. There's a tier 2 below us.
Where we would
There's
probably
a lot of
stop
volume.
again,
It's
right?
going to slow down all day. The day will close. Like I wouldn't,
point.
and it's like all signs are pointing upwards.
Yeah.
At least on this time frame. What does it look like, Daniel, on the 1 hour?
Now, just to qualify real quick on what Nicholas said, I think it's a really good point, is yes, where we put our profit target. I just randomly, I guess, put it here at this low here, but realistically, we should actually put it right above this high volume node, which would make it very close by. So not much going on. Good point. For this reason, let's go close this oil trade here. I'm not going to pursue it any further, especially since we're also at the end of this trading session. And so we'll quickly at the higher time frames at 1 hour, just to see if we see a different picture there.
And something that's nice to do, Dan, sorry to interrupt you, but once the market closes at like 5 to 6, you check the 1 hour, you check the 4 hour, just to get your brain in the sense of, okay, well, what's the bigger picture on these symbols? And then think, okay, on the smaller time frames, where might, like, look here on the 1 hour, we're breaking through a tier 2 on the 1 hour, and it's bullish on the 1 hour. That's dangerous. Like if it takes off, it might go to 66 by tomorrow morning or something,
Yeah.
That's what I would be thinking.
All right, cool. All right, guys. I think this wraps up our session. It is 11:23. We're 2 hours in almost. I think it was fun. We had some interesting trades. I'm happy with the first 2 trades that we took. They worked out beautifully. Lots of things came together. These are the kind of setups that I love to see. And we take one speculative trade here now on Dow. We'll see how this one pans out. It's just a neutral territory right now. It's with minimal position size. And yeah, And Gary said he's out flat on oil. But at least Gary, you made some profits on the first short there.
Yeah, and don't let us influence you too much there in case it turns out being
Yeah.
a great trade.
The setups that we're discussing here are for educational purposes only.
Check out gold, Daniel, before we close out. I'm very
Yeah.
happy that we held on. I held on to
Oh,
this.
it's going down?
Yeah, now I'm taking profits or some
Ah,
profits.
great. Yeah, we're going below. That's cool. Actually, I'm going to keep an eye on this myself after the session. If we lose this level, we're still right there where we may bounce off from again. But if we lose this level, we may see a big one acceleration to the downside to this next level here. Definitely. Cool. Great, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to have to put my slides on for one more second here just to remind you that, first of all, the recording will be posted on our YouTube page in about 2 hours from now, as soon as it's rendered. Secondly, if you have any questions regarding our indicators, or if you're interested in our indicators, check them out at tradingindicators.com, our homepage. And it is also through our homepage how you can contact us. Simply go to the main menu, click on support, then on contact, then put your question into the contact form, and it will go straight to my inbox. With this, guys, I wish you all a fantastic trading day. Watch out for your money, of course. Stay safe, and see you all soon at our next event, which will be our live scanning session on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye, guys. Thanks, Niklas. Bye.